Hey guys, I'm a fish guy here, going over some of my top favorite things to use for the betta breeding bubble nest. So when the male is getting ready to breed, he does build a bubble nest which he stores the eggs and the babies and all that fun stuff in. But some people kind of get confused or don't know what to use for the actual material for your male to build that nest in. So the top three things that I use would be bubble wrap would be number one. Now I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's perfect because this floats. It creates pockets for those bubbles to kind of be stored into, and it helps hold things together really nice. Now what's nice, you can cut this as big or as small as you want, but usually the bigger the better. That way, you're not having it spread out over a huge section, but it's also not going to be so small that you're limiting the nest of the male if they want to build a big one. What actually kind of helps too, I've noticed, is for some of my less performing bettas, if they can't build the nest as big or they just don't want to build it as big, this actually makes it look bigger. Now some of the females I've had, if they don't like that nest or the size of the nest, they're going to destroy it. I've had females rip nests apart before they even start laying eggs and anything like that, and pretty much make the male rebuild them. So this kind of actually makes it look a little bit bigger for the male. I know it sounds kind of funny, but yeah, it kind of adds to the appearance and the size of the bubble nest. So yeah, I know you guys are having fun with that. So the next would be the leaves. Indian almond leaves. These are perfect. They come in many different sizes, shapes, quantities, different packages, different distributors, but this is what they look like. Now they float real well. You have to actually boil them to make them sink. But what I do with these, I don't actually use them for the bubble nest in particular. What I use them for is I crush them up and put them in boiling water in a cup and almost make a tea out of it. And this gives it the added protection from the leaf, which is that anti-fungus, kind of state that it gives the water. That way I don't have to use any medicines or anything like that to help protect the eggs and the babies. Like I said, I just crush it up real fine, put it in a cup, and I actually take the leaves and water and everything once it hits the temperature of the tank that I'm dumping it in, and dump the whole thing right in the tank. The leaves aren't going to hurt anything. The water turns a little bit brown, but that's perfect because that the added effects from the leaf are spreading throughout the tank. So the next thing that I use that's probably my favorite, and there's many different ways to use it. I'll show you the way I used to use it, and I've kind of helped modify a little bit to help it kind of contain the eggs a little bit easier. So when I first started betta breeding years ago, you can use a styrofoam cup. Now a lot of your top breeders use the styrofoam cups because they float, they don't break apart, they don't deteriorate, they're perfect. What I used to do is cut them pretty much from top to bottom, right in half. But what this doesn't do is basically helps keep the nest in, unless it's pinned up against the side of the glass. Now if you're breeding in buckets and totes and stuff like that kind of have the rounded edges and stuff like that, the nest can actually break apart or flow out of it. Now it happens, but not all the time, so I've kind of helped modify it a little bit to help my needs for the betta. Also what's nice about this is it does shield from any water dropping. If you're doing saran wrap, you're doing styrofoam, it helps protect if any raindrops fall from it and kind of hit this. Now you don't want that happening because if it hits the nest, it's going to kind of destroy part of it. If there's eggs or babies in it, it's going to knock them loose and make just more work for the male. Now next what I tried was just cutting the rim off. Now this is perfect. Like I said, it keeps everything contained, nothing floats out, but like I said with the other part, this doesn't have protection. Water just falls right through, hits the nest, and destroys part of it or knocks the babies out. So what I ended up doing is just cutting the bottom off. Now this is a little bit smaller, but it's a perfect size. I believe these are 20 ounce. Yep. Nope, 16 ounce cups. So it's perfect size. You just cut the bottom right off. It provides enough surface area for the males to build that bubble nest, and it provides a protection from above, so nothing water dropping wise can actually disturb that nest. So it's perfect. And it's relatively cheap, so I can get 20 cups for $2. If you go to your big hardware stores even, you can get them in larger quantities. If you go to your retail shops, stores, anything like that, even your mom and pop shops, you could even go down to a gas station. if you don't have any major retail stores around you where you can buy these. You may pay a little bit more at the gas station, but you're going to get your styrofoam cups, and these things are going to last you forever. You can use them for multiple breedings. What I do is I just rinse them with real hot water to make sure there's nothing in them, and then put them back in. You're all set to go again. So if you have anything you've used that's different in the past for betta breeding, post it down below. We'd love to see these, love to see different ideas. It kind of opens the world of the aquarium and betta breeding up. So check that out as well. Read in the comments, you might get some ideas. So check out my website, mafishguide.com. I will be updating it soon again. I'm going to be including more and more betta products on there as well. That way you can kind of get your feet wet, no pun intended, in betta breeding and maybe even just keeping bettas. So check it out. So please like, subscribe, share this. Thank you for watching.